everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Heidi from My Reading Life, and I'm here today to film my TBR check-in and book haul for the month of May. So, if we remember where we left off in the month of April, we had a lot of books added to the TBR, and I am happy to report that in May we did much, much better. So let's get right to the numbers here, shall we? So in the month of May, I read 18 books total. 14 of them were off my shelf. 8 new books were brought in. 8 new to me books were brought in. I unhauled 1 book, and that left me with a monthly total of a -7. So that brings my balance back down to 131 from 138 last month. So 131, that's excellent. I mean, it's still over the 120 that I started with this year by 11 books, but that's all right. We're moving in the right direction. I'm really pleased with the -7. So some of the things that I've already talked about in the past month, I did DNF a book. That was one of the books on my Springathon TBR, The Snow Leopard by Peter Matthiessen. That one I tried to read, didn't like, so I just DNF'd it. I read 1 book off my ancient TBR. That was Villette by Charlotte Bronte. So made some progress in that area. So, and of the box set that I got for Mother's Day, which was the Penguin Green Ideas box set that has those 20 small pieces of nonfiction, I read 3 of those total. So 3 out of the 20. So made work in I did some work in a lot of different areas. So I'm very, very pleased about that. 14 books off the TBR in 1 month is really excellent. And I will say the biggest contributor to that was, reading my own books and not being distracted by Scribd and my library and all that sort of thing. So that is the key to it all for me, is to remain focused on the books that I have here in my home. Another trick that's been working really well lately is to find an audiobook for a physical book that I have on the shelf, and that helps me because I had a lot of audiobooking time in the month of May. So as long as I can continue to do that for the next few months, I think that will be extremely helpful, because I do drive a lot in the summertime, and so I will have more time to audiobook. So now to the fun part. What did I bring in for new to me books? So the first thing that I got were 3 used mass market paperbacks from Paperback Swap. These 3 right here, these are the next 3 books that I need to read in the Inspector Thomas Linley mystery series by Elizabeth George. So I got A Suitable Vengeance. This one is just hella bad shape. For the Sake of Elena, and Missing Joseph. So these are not in fabulous shape by any means, but they are readable. They don't smell, which is the biggest criteria for me with used books, is that they don't smell. And for these types of books, mystery books that I'm only going to read once probably, the only criteria is that they don't smell and that they are readable. And they, while beat up, are readable. So, and they don't smell. So that's good. So I will be looking forward to reading the next 3 books in the Thomas Linley series. I think this is 4. This is 4, and this is 5, and this is 6, I believe. Or perhaps one of these is a prequel. I can't remember, but in publication order, that's the order that they came in. The next 2 books are books that I took out of my grandfather, who passed away in January. My family has been cleaning his house out in preparation for it changing ownership. And as we went through the books that were in the house, anybody that wanted, from the family that wanted some of those books, could take them. And so I did bring home 2 books from my grandparents' library. One of them is a classic work of nature nonfiction. This is We Took to the Woods by Louise Dickinson Rich. And this is, this woman said from a very young age that all she wanted to do was live in the Maine woods. And so at some point she does that. As an adult, she does that. And so there's pictures in this, and it's all about her experiences living in the Maine woods. And I think this book was first published like early 20th century. Let me see. Yeah, 1942. So this is a book that has been on my radar for a while, and I was pleased to find a copy of it at my grandparents' library. So I brought that home with me. And then I have An Hour Before Daylight by Jimmy Carter, Memories of a Rural Boyhood. And the reason I grabbed this one was because Doris really loves Jimmy Carter, and I have not read anything about Jimmy Carter. I have not yet gotten to him, obviously, in my presidential reading challenge. And while this is not a biography, I believe Doris read this one and really enjoyed it, and I am interested to learn more about Jimmy Carter, so I grabbed that one. So those two, free to me from my grandparents' library. The next book that I picked up was one that I did purchase myself. This is Life on the Rocks by Juli Berwald. This is her new book. I read her book about jellyfish, which I've already forgotten the name of, Spineless, a couple months ago. And so I will be buddy reading this in June with Britta and Doris. This is Building a Future for Coral Reefs. And I am super, super excited about reading this one. I loved Spineless. I really enjoyed Juli Berwald's way of writing about nature and specifically about marine life. And I'm interested to learn more about coral reefs. And I think that this cover is gorgeous. So that one will be read in the month of June. These last two books on my haul, I won in a Goodreads giveaway, which was really thrilling for me because I rarely, if ever, win anything, as you know. Although I have been hauling books that I have won on BookTube giveaways, but this was a Goodreads giveaway. So I won this new book just out in 2022, Paradise Falls, The True Story of an Environmental Catastrophe by Keith O'Brien. This is the story of Love Canal in New York, which was very instrumental in raising awareness about environmental justice and pollution in our rivers in the United States. I think this is from, the 70s, when this Love Canal in New York was so toxic that it was literally killing people. So I am really, really, look at that picture of people protesting the toxic waste in their rivers. So I will be buddy reading this with Doris also in the month of June. I'm really excited to read it. It is a chunker and it's super, I mean, it's really dense. It's mostly text. There are a few pictures in here. So that's good, but I think it is really going to be very informative. I remember studying Love Canal in college. It was one of the, instrumental case studies that really got me going about environmental justice and environmental conservation. So very much looking forward to reading that one. And then the second book I won, these two books came together in the same giveaway, and that's Radium Girls, The Dark Story of America's Shining Women by Kate Moore. I've had many people recommend this book to me, so I'm thrilled to finally have a copy. This is about the women who worked painting the like watch faces with radium to make them glow in the dark, I believe. And yeah, radium doll factories, and they would lick their brushes to paint this toxic chemical on the watch faces, and they didn't know how bad that was for their health. And so, of course, really terrible things happened. And I have heard this is just an excellent, excellent work of narrative nonfiction. So I am thrilled that I won these two books, both of which are like right up my alley. Couldn't be more up my alley than those two books. So yeah, that's my book haul for the month of May. I am really, really pleased with all of those and pleased with my progress on reducing the TBR after the very bad month that I had in April in terms of books brought in. So that's good. Hopefully we'll continue on the downward trajectory, excuse me, in the month of June, but we shall see. I mean, you just never know what opportunities are going to arise in the bookish world that you just can't pass up. So I think that's it for today. I hope everyone's doing well and finding some great books to read. I will talk to you later.